3 moral stories that will change how you see life. Story 1. The letter the janitor carried his whole life. Mr. Collins worked as a school janitor for almost 30 years. He was quiet, humble, and always the first to arrive and the last to leave. Students rarely noticed him except for one girl named Lily. Every morning, she greeted him with a smile and a soft good morning. One afternoon, Lily left her backpack in the hallway. Mr. Collins found it and waited after school just to return it. When she took it, she handed him a sealed envelope and said, "For you." He slipped it into his pocket, but never opened it. Life got busy. Work, bills, repairs, and the letter stayed untouched. Years passed. Mr. Collins retired and lived quietly on the edge of town. One winter morning, the school principal invited him to a ceremony. On stage stood Lily, now a grown woman and a published author. "There's a man here who once saved my life," she said. "I felt invisible until one person made me feel seen." The audience turned toward Mr. Collins. After the ceremony, Lily asked gently, "Do you still have my letter?" He pulled the untouched envelope from his wallet. She opened it. Inside was one sentence: "Thank you for being the only light in my darkest days." In that moment he realized, kindness saves silently. Story 2. He saved her life because she once saved his. A hungry boy named Ethan walked from door to door in a small village, trying to sell the little wooden toys he made himself. He hadn't eaten for a whole day, but he was too shy to ask anyone for food. One afternoon, he knocked on the house of a woman named Mrs. Hall. When she opened the door and saw his pale face and tired eyes, she immediately understood that the boy needed more help than he was willing to ask for. She didn't buy any toys. Instead, she went inside and returned with a large glass of cold milk. Ethan drank it slowly, savoring every sip, as if he was afraid the milk might disappear. When the glass was empty, he looked up and asked softly, "How much do I owe you, ma'am?" Mrs. Hall smiled warmly and shook her head. "You owe me nothing," she said. "Just promise me that one day you'll help someone else the way I helped you today." Years passed. Ethan grew up, studied hard, won scholarships, and eventually became a respected doctor in the city. One night, an elderly woman was rushed into the hospital, unconscious. When Ethan saw her face, his heart trembled. It was Mrs. Hall. She suffered from a rare illness, and the medical team worked tirelessly to save her. Ethan stayed by her side through the hardest nights until she finally recovered. When she was ready to leave the hospital, the staff brought her the medical bill. It was enormous, far more than a woman with no family or savings could ever afford. Her hands trembled as she opened the envelope, but inside, the total amount was crossed out. At the bottom of the page was a handwritten note. "Paid in full with 1 glass of milk, Dr. Ethan Howe." Tears filled her eyes as she realized that the kindness she once gave had returned to her when she needed it the most. Story 3. The bridge that healed 2 broken brothers. 2 brothers, Adam and Luke, lived on neighboring farms separated by a small river. For years they worked together, shared tools, and helped each other through storms and droughts. But one morning, a small disagreement grew into a terrible argument. Harsh words were spoken, pride took over, and the brothers stopped talking completely. One day, a traveling carpenter arrived at Adam's farm and asked if he had any work. Adam pointed across the river toward Luke's house and said, "Build me a tall fence along the riverbank. I don't want to see my brother ever again." The carpenter nodded quietly and got to work. Adam left the farm for the day, expecting to return to a fence that would keep Luke out of sight forever. But when he came back in the evening, he froze in disbelief. There was no fence at all. Instead, stretching across the river, stood a beautiful wooden bridge. Luke was already walking toward him across the bridge, looking emotional and surprised. "Adam," he said softly, "after everything we said to each other, I never thought you'd build a bridge." Adam hesitated for a moment. Then he said quietly, "I didn't build it." The carpenter smiled gently as he packed his tools. "Sometimes," he said, "the hardest thing isn't building a fence to keep others out. It's building a bridge that lets forgiveness in." Adam and Luke met in the middle of the bridge and embraced, letting go of the anger that had separated them. When they finally turned around, the carpenter was already walking away down the dusty road, his toolbox in hand. "Where are you going?" Adam called out. The carpenter waved without looking back. "I have more bridges to build," he said. "Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe."